Hello, and welcome to the Collect Your Life Incorporated podcast. I am your host, A. Henderson, and I am so glad you decided to join us today. So, y'all, I don't know if I sounded crazy in the first half. My nose and allergies want to act up. I have crazy allergies throughout the year, so yeah, they don't want me to be great, So anyway, hey y'all. So I was supposed to do this episode at the end of February, but life has been lifing, okay? So I'm doing it now. So I apologize if you're waiting on the last installment of Being a Black Woman, part 4. Here it is, coming in to you hot, and I hope you enjoy it, okay? So basically, this last installment, we're going to focus on strength and vulnerability and all of that nature, okay? And anything being a black woman to, wrap up what we've already discussed. So let's do a recap, okay? So the first episode, part 1, we were basically talking about black maternal health, the mortality rate among black mothers is excruciatingly high. I don't know if that's the word I was looking for, but it's extremely high for black women as mothers, which, may also cause some black women not to want kids, or whatever that may be, because we don't know if we're gonna be heard or listened to. It was just another case of a woman that I just read about it that just happening to. And also black women in healthcare, like not working in healthcare, but like us with our health, and our doctors not listening to us, or always taking us as we're angry or something like that. Then the next part was basically about being a black woman and in education. So like I kind of like went through like my the challenges, and I didn't go through every detail and being an educator, because to be quite honest, there's some things I can't go into detail with yet, but it will be, okay? There will be a raw, uncut place for you to see, hear all that, okay? So, anywho, then part 3, which is the last one, was basically the angry black woman, the misconceptions of being the angry black woman and everything. So this one is kind of like a culmination of all of those things, and in addition to the part 3 with the angry black woman. We won't be here long, but basically I want to talk about black women being vulnerable. Like in today's society, it's like when we're able to show our vulnerability, when we're able to just let our hair down and everything, it's seemed as being weak. So that's why a lot of times black women don't show their vulnerability. They don't show whatever weakness they may have, because it's going to be deemed as you're not good enough. We were always, now I don't know if it was just me, and I know it's not, because I've talked to, friends of mine, but we were always taught, a lot of us were taught, who were in my age range and maybe older or younger, to get ahead or to be successful, you have to be 10 steps ahead of your other counterparts. You have to work twice as hard because, you know, of your race and your gender. And I kind of touched on that in the education piece, but this is really real, y'all. Like, there's people who are in positions above women I know who are more qualified. And that's not just black women, that's women in general have a history of that, but especially black women, because of our race, we have to really work. Like, I'm working on my doctorate, right? I'm in a dissertation process. There's people I know that are in positions that are similar to where I want to go that don't have that. They don't have a doctoral degree. They just have a master's, which is where I am right now. Currently, I'm all but dissertation because I'm working on my dissertation. So technically, I have the doctoral coursework already completed, which I do have that already completed. I'm really just working on my dissertation. Whoop whoop, little shout out to me, you know. But like, why do we feel that we have, it's like been ingrained in us, you gotta go to the highest step? And then somebody had the audacity to ask me, was I going back to school again? For what? Why? And a lot of people like, oh, I couldn't do it, who are not black, mind you. Oh, I couldn't do it. Oh, I just applaud you, because you don't have to do it. That's the thing. Like, I have to show that in addition to my record of being effective and everything and all that, just to get my foot in the door, just to get my name recognized. It's just, and then if we show a sign of weakness, if we show that we're vulnerable in one area, it's like, oh, she's weak. Oh, she can't do this. But why do I have to do that? Oh, she can't balance it all. And then another thing is, and now this is the purpose of this podcast is not to bash any other race or to bash anyone at all. So I please hope that you take this in love and not be offensive if you're someone of a different race. Nobody's saying that you are beneath or whatever, but it's something about a black woman, okay? Like, we have historically been used for our bodies and everything. We have historically been disadvantaged all the time. So this is to uplift and just shed light on what it is really like being a black woman still in 2023. So, being a black woman, it's like, I don't know if it's in our DNA or it's just something. Maybe it's because we were always taking care of people on the plantation. We were always doing this, or a woman always the nurturing, in addition to always taking care of something. We are very good at balance. Like, and I don't know if that's a good thing though, because I'm sitting here thinking of the things I have going on. I'm like, why am I doing all this? Well, I mean, one, I have to have a job. So that, okay, that's duh. I have to be a mom. So, okay, we got that. But if I want to progress in my career, I have to get the extra education too, in order to be deemed or seen as someone capable, or even get my foot in the door. Yes, I will say God's favor is what's got me in every door. I will say that. But also, I had to use wisdom to be like, okay, God, is this something that, firstly, let me just put a pin here and say that getting my doctoral degree was not my plan. It's God's plan. And I don't even know all the workings of why he has me getting this, but I'm just gonna roll with God. So let me just say that. But also in doing so, it is, you know, it could be time consuming. In addition to having a whole business and a podcast and trying to have a personal life, you know, it's a lot, a balance. So being a black woman, you have to do that. And like, if we show like a sign of weakness, oh, I need help, or like, you know, something, it's been ingrained in us that's weak, and excuse me, that's something that we shouldn't do or whatever. And I'm like, why? And that even trickles in to some of us with dating and with our love life, with a relationship, with choosing a partner. Because firstly, it's been ingrained in us a lot of times that we should marry up. You know, you should have somebody with more education than you, a better job, all that. To me, that's dumb, because as being statistically the group, not the classification, the group with the most degrees in America, where we gonna find somebody with a higher degree than us? Like, at this point, that means you're telling me statistically, or like historically, what we were told, I need to marry somebody who has a doctoral degree, or 2 doctoral degrees, basically, is what you're saying. Because I'm gonna have one soon, so I need to have somebody with 2 doctoral degrees. Because if I'm looking at my great grandmothers and my grandmother, they were married early, because that was the goal, to get married, to have kids and start a family. And boy, did they have kids, okay? Sis had a lot on both sides, okay? But anyway, back to focus. But basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, why is that the case? Like, we can't even show that vulnerable. Like, to me, I don't require much. I really don't. I need somebody to be filled with the Holy Spirit. I need them to be saved for real, not for fake. And I need you to be a partner in this. I'm not doing everything alone, because I could do bad by myself. Like, and then again, you put in the factor that I've already been married before. And a lot of people look at statistics and like, oh, black women are divorcing. But what happened? What caused that woman to, or not just black women, but women and people, period. People always like to point on that divorce, and all this. But as somebody who's been divorced, who is divorced, not been divorced, I am divorced, who is divorced, like, get your facts straight before you start just putting a class. It really irritates me when people put a whole class of women and say we don't know how to submit. No, we were submitting to the wrong person. We didn't hear the voice of the Lord, or, you know, and say, oh, nope, we didn't hear the Holy Spirit when we, you know, that was my case. Okay. So God allowed us to go through that season, you know, but my thing is, a lot of times it trickles, like the vulnerability, not being vulnerable, trickles into dating or trickles into relationships, because we don't know if we could be vulnerable with you. If you're going to point out this weakness, this flaw, and you're going to drag it out, you know, that's just on a black woman's standpoint. That's really how it is. Like, we don't know if you, we don't know. Like, I'm so serious, because we've had to always do it. And I feel like my love language, the main one, is acts of service. So it's like, if you tell me you're gonna do something, the main thing to turn me off, you tell me you're gonna do something, I'm expecting you to do it. And if you keep dropping the ball and don't do whatever you said you were gonna do for me, you keep turning me off. You, like, that's my main love language. I'm actually multi-love lingual, but that's the number one after receiving gifts. Well, The second is receiving gifts, because I am a giver. Excuse me. And I am strategic with gifting and everything. So I expect it in return. Excuse me, y'all. So I expect like what I give out to be reciprocated. And many times I have a defense up or a wall up because, not because I'm hard, not because I'm cold, not because of anything other than being disappointed several times. So I'll just do it myself. That's why a lot of black women like myself don't really reach out for a handout or a village or whatever. Now, yes, I do have a village who's like, girl, give me Carrie or something, you know, like, give me this, give me that. But that's the true friends that I have. That's like the 4 friends I got, you know. Now I'm gonna say I have more people that I associate with, but the ones who truly know, like, girl, shut up, take you a minute, you know, do this X, Y, and Z. Those roots that I can call on, those few folks will do that. But again, with other people, when it's like, when you're trying to let people in, that's why I feel like sometimes some black men go outside the race. I'm not opposed to dating outside my race. So if you're not black out there and you want to date me, you know, that's fine. But I would prefer, I have a preference, but it's really, my preference is whoever God has for me, really. That's comes down to it. My preference could be a tall, dark, beautiful black man. But who God has for me may be somebody short, light skin, or somebody not even black. Like, whoever God has for me is where I'm going to stick beside. I'm going to stick beside them. And so my thing is, we have to get in the mindset of, and understand, if you truly understand a black woman, you have to understand that she has been firstly, women period, mothers period, have been overstimulated. They've been overstimulated and then overused a lot of times. So we have to understand her to truly understand that she may be cold on the outside, because like I said on last part, listen, y'all, I have a natural mean mug. I'm sorry, I can't get away from it. I've had it my whole life. My child even inherited it from me. Okay, but I'm the goofiest person you can meet. I'm silly. I'll check you. It's like, that's me. So my thing is, you got to get to know a person first. And if you really want to know someone, you got to spend time with them. And that way they can be vulnerable. They can show that soft side without feeling like, oh, they think I'm weak. So let's embrace, it's Women's History Month. So this is still right on time. So let's embrace black women in their vulnerability and not think that it is a sign of weakness, because they want that. If they're showing you that weakness, that means we really trust you to show you the weakness, because we don't trust everybody. Just saying. And I'm speaking for myself. But anyway, I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next time.